or feeling responsible for other people. When if you've took their responsibilities on, then that's not the other people. If somebody says, oh, I'm going to carry them heavy bags, and somebody's going to go, yeah, no bother, and take them. But then you can't complain that you're carrying the heavy bags for them because you asked them to. Does that make sense? So it's almost like it's not up to you to take responsibility for everybody. You can do what you can, but that is enough. And if people don't like that, then that's their bad. And I feel there's some heartbreak, or there's some wounds around relationships as well here. And I feel that there's a disappointment. Okay, there's a disappointment around this. There's like a heavy feeling. I'm feeling quite murky. I really feel like you're carrying a lot, Aries. This is it. I'm wanting to go like that with my shoulders. I'm wanting to, like sort of de-stress, if that makes sense. And what they're saying here is hate is too heavy to carry. Okay, and I feel with this, like I say, there's a disappointment around a relationship, but I feel within this relationship it was not balanced. Okay, it wasn't 50-50. So either this was you were not putting enough into it, or they weren't. Okay, like I say, we've got to own responsibility for everything we do, because we choose to stay if it's bad, or whatever. So like I say, it's about owning your part in this. But I feel there's still quite a lot of confusion around this. And what I feel with this is it's time to let it go. Let go any resentments that you're feeling. Let go anything that you've been hard done to, any words that were said within this, either to you or from you, that you'll keep going over and over in your head, and this is when you will come to your happiness. Okay, I feel there's communication here coming in. This could be communication you've been waiting for. I feel this could possibly be to do with an earth sign or with a water sign. Okay, so there's like a flurry of communication coming in the next 8 days. What's the date today? It's the 10th. So I feel around about the 18th. Okay, but it's almost like there's a stubbornness here. I don't know if this is you going to contact or they are, but there's almost like there's this stubbornness here where you're not wanting to see it. Now, this could be because you're kind of thinking, all right, I wasn't, I wasn't my best in that. So there could be a little bit of a, like, oh God, like I've got to own up or something. But it's own it, if you've done something, own it. Be brave enough to do that. We've got to all own our stuff. But what they're saying is this resentment, this holding on to things is really what is keeping you from having fun. And this is what needs work on. Now, this month is a very big work, okay? And when I say work, I don't mean, the place where you go, where you get paid. This is about work on yourself, okay? Like I say, we have the Virgo moon. It's all about introspection. It's about going inward and seeing where we can make changes, okay? We cannot change anybody else. We cannot change our environment, or the way other people are, but we can change us, and it's almost like, was it Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. So this is what I'm saying. It's stepping up, coming from a place of love, coming from a place of lightness as well, keeping your heart light, not heavy. And I feel there's an element of mistrust here. And it's almost like, I don't know where this mistrust is. I think this could be that you're not trusting yourself to do the work, or, you're not trusting that the work can actually change this. But what they're saying is it can, and if you want closure, then you have to own your karma. They're saying, okay, there is love coming here, or there is love there, but it's almost like you need to make a decision. Or some of you may have lost what you thought was love as well. Okay, so again, with this, it's like, right, okay, what did I do? It might not have been you that ended it, might not have been you that caused it, but this is saying, what did I do? I was talking to somebody, it's been coming up a lot the other day. I just haven't had time to do it. And I was talking to somebody, oh, thank you, Haley, that's much appreciated. And it's almost like saying here, go back and review your exes as well. Look at them as an outsider. Look at the situation from an outsider. Look at things you could have done differently. you know, and then let them go. That's it, you know, because we can learn from everything. Every relationship we have is a teacher, you know, whether it's good or bad. Like I said before, it's just about experience. So we put the negative or the positive on it. You know, one of my worst relationships I ever had, you know, was for a long, long time. And, you know, I looked on it in a very, you know, it was, oh God, that was a horrible, horrible time for me. But when I look at it now, it was where I learned the most about myself. And I looked, and just the other week, I actually spoke to the higher self of this person and said, you know what, thank you, you know, because this last 14, 15 years since, you know, I got out of that, I have done nothing but just progress and progress and progress. You know, had this person not been, you know, not suited to me, that's the best way I'll say, you know, I would have probably stayed and persevered. So it was like, I thanked it. I thanked the higher self of this person, because without the pain and the trauma, I would not be where I am now. Okay. So can you see what I'm saying there with this experience? We see it as bad, but sometimes it can actually be our greatest teacher and lead us on to, you know, where we are happiness. You know, so it's changing your perspective, changing how you see things, going in with an open heart. And, you know, this is not going to happen overnight. You know, we need to learn. It's a habit. We have developed habits, you know, in our thought pattern, and this, a lot of it can be conditioning and things like that. So we need to go back and we need to reroute. Okay, that's what we need to do. So it's almost like putting a stop sign up and saying, no, you've got to go another way, diversion, you know. So you divert it and go down the positive path rather than the negative, and you will find you get to your destination quicker, easier, and it'll be more pleasurable when you get there. Okay, so this is it. It's changes. There's been a lot of changes in for people here, you know, and I really feel this is about you looking long term as well. Okay, because at the moment, some of you, it's almost like you're not allowing yourself to look long term, you know, saying, oh God, you know, the past's been that bad, what I don't know what's to come, you know. But this is saying, again, it's talking about the magic here and saying there's so much possibilities for you, but you need to cut through these illusions that you're having, the way you're seeing the world. See it in a different way, and you will see the world, it changes. Okay, by looking at the world in a different way, you will see that it does actually change. And what they're saying here is, you know, if you come from a loving place, if you come from true emotions, if you speak these emotions and speak only from a place of love, okay, say only things that are true, that are helpful, inspiring, necessary, and kind. Okay, the word think, if you look it down like that, if you say that, you will see that people who have had resistance up against you will actually start to treat you in a different way. Okay, it's fantastic how it happens. It really, really does. So it's about letting these old thought patterns that were stemmed in the past go. If you need to make peace with your past or anybody in your past, then do it, because it will free you. And this is saying this is a new way of being, you know. This is when you can actually start to feel pleasure and start to feel, you know, like alive again as well, and start to feel powerful. Because, like I say, when we're coming from a negative place, what happens there is we are leaking power, and we might be focusing on that situation or that experience or that person that we feel has wronged us or whatever. But all we are doing is keeping that power there. We're leaking power to them, you know, we're making them more powerful, you know, by doing this. So this is free yourself from worries, free yourself from resentment, free yourself from negative thinking, and you will free yourself into this whole new fantastic beginning, and you will free yourself from anxiety and sleepless nights as well. Okay, so I'm just going to pull a spirit card. I hope that made sense. Oh, that one pulled came flying out, didn't it? They always fly out, these ones. Right, okay. And this card is soulmate, okay? And it says love, partnership, magnetic attraction between two people, a union. You discover a deep sense of self through a relationship with another. Now, a soulmate, I don't often talk about soulmates because, like I say, people get the wrong idea. But A soulmate is somebody who comes to teach us a lesson, okay? We often, when we meet soulmates, we already have karma with them, okay? Because we've been with them before. So it's almost like bringing up old baggage, you know, bringing up old stuff. So we will meet a soulmate, we will feel that connection. It will often be very, very deep, and it can often be very, very painful as well, you know? And what this is saying is a soulmate is here to teach us, okay? To be a teacher. And until we learn that lesson, we will continue to have pain, okay? So this is saying here, somebody has been in your life or will come into your life that is going to teach you a big lesson, okay? This could, I feel, yes, it is definitely, this is coming in the form of a relationship, okay? It might be a relationship that's already broke down. It might be a one that's to come. But there is something that this is trying to alert to you, okay? So you can change the way you are. Now, I'm not just saying it's your fault. I'm not saying that at all, Aries. But what I'm saying is this is your reading and this is the message that's coming through. Okay, so remember, you only take responsibility for yourself as well, you know, and your part you played in stuff. So this is about learning the lesson, finding this deep connection, rather than, if you know, if you have met a soulmate and that soulmate is no longer around, you know, if you're holding resentment for them, maybe look at it and see what they taught you, you know, see why they were important in your life, because I do feel that they were, you know. And like I say, you know, if you're going to make peace with your past, then do it in your way. You can do this with the higher self. You can contact them if you want. You can, you know, you can just write a letter and not even send it. You know, you can do whatever you need to do, but you need to make peace, okay? Because that is when you will get peace. So I hope that makes sense. That's gone on a lot longer than what I thought, but the messages were pretty strong there. Please let me know if it did make sense to you. And like I say, you know, we can all, it doesn't matter whether this is Aries or whatever, you know, I think that was quite insightful, and I think we can all learn a lot from that as well. So like I say, I hope that made sense. Please let me know. And if anybody would like a personal reading with me, please click the link below, and then I can look at your specific situation. These are just general readings, okay? So it's not, this isn't all about you. You know, if you want me to look into your energy and your situation, the only way I can do that is by personally tuning into you, okay? So I hope that makes sense. It's been lovely to see you, Aries. And like I say, thank you for being there when I've done this live. If you do like these videos, please subscribe if you haven't already, and please share them with your friends. It does help. Okay, so have a fantastic September, Aries. Satnam.